All right, we're going to talk for a minute about the 12-step recovery program, and what is it, and what it is not, from my perspective. So, some of you know I've been in the 12-step recovery program for a long time, and I've done it probably every way you can kind of do it that is maybe not right or wrong, or if there is such a thing. I sobered up in 1980, so long friggin' time ago, and I was talking to somebody last night about it, and in all those years I wasn't always active, but I've always been a spiritual student, and I've always been kind of wanting to know more about this God thing and spirituality, and I did all the New Age stuff, and I traveled to India, and I did yoga, and I went to Peru, and had all the experiences, and looking for this God thing, and there it was, always right in front of me. So I would go to meetings, and I would go to meetings, and I would go to meetings, and somehow I would miss the thing, that there was no, the thing that I would miss is that the surrender was the way out. There was no, I couldn't educate my way really into this spiritual experience. I had to surrender in the moment. So I know it's hard because people don't want to hear this. I didn't want to hear it. Surrender what? What do you mean surrender? Well, I really had to let go of thinking I knew, or my ego telling me that I needed to know what was next. And that truly surrender put me in a kind of a need to know basis, that this universal intelligence, consciousness, God as I understand him or don't understand him, love, Father of light, all the different descriptions we have for this consciousness, for this thing, this higher power that we don't understand, can only be accessed in the moment. And I can only access it if I'm willing to surrender and be here and be present. And I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they had ego has all the defenses. Says, but I need to know, how am I going to live, and how am I going to, no. When we truly surrender, in our big book, it talks about, it says we ask you with all the earnestness at our command to be fearless and thorough from the very start. We have to let go of all of our old ideas and all of, so it's asking a lot. But the alternative for the addict or the alcoholic is what? The alternative for the addict, the alcoholic, is we fucking die. We live a miserable life. And lots of guys, my age, if they haven't got it, if they haven't felt the experience, if they're not living this God consciousness, they don't want to be here. The crazy mind, ego, makes up all kinds of stories about what's wrong, and and we become separate. We isolate, and the disease, even if we're not drinking or using, is still happening in the crazy mind. It separates us from love and separates us from life and God. And so being here now, the only way to be here now is to surrender into this moment and come into this breath, into this, be here. So that's the deal. Hey, Claude, Gordon, Randy, it's good to see you guys. So that people want peace, right? That's the deal. We really do. We want to have peace of mind. We want to be able to be free. We want to experience, freedom from fear. And so how do we get there? Be present now. So the 12-step program actually has the ingredients. It has the pathway to be there. And sometimes I'm not very popular because that's all I talk about is freedom, baby. There is no freedom in owning shit. There is no freedom in relationship even. You know, freedom is in the moment, in the present. And how do we get here? We have to surrender knowing, surrender the need to know, surrender the need to understand, surrender the need to make up stories. Okay, so that's my message. A couple of quick things. You know, this has been going back and forth for a while. I've been thinking, I love to teach meditation and to, you know, to literally be with people and kind of teach how to be present. I'm going to have kind of a weekend of, we call it step 10 and 11. We're going to focus, it's 12-step based kind of a weekend. We're not going to do all the steps, but we are going to focus on 10 and 11, on being present and seeing the things that come up that take us out of the moment. And that'll be in September. So if you want to be part of that, it'll be September, the weekend of the 15th, 16th. And it's going to be residential. We're all going to go out together and be somewhere together. We're working on a couple of sites for that. So, and I'm also planning a Dads in Recovery event. So I've been working with fathers, men who are dads and who are in recovery. So I'm going to do something in October, probably the third weekend of October, for men who are dads in recovery. It'll be like it won't be residential. It'll be here in town, but it'll be face to face. I'm hoping to get maybe the Scarborough United Church, and we'll have about 16 hours over 3 days, and we're going to really look at all the aspects of, you know, of being a dad and being a dad in recovery, and helping men to have community and support each other and being great dads. So those are the things that are coming up. Yeah. So if you are a dad in recovery and you want to talk about it, call me. We'll talk about it. And yeah. And if you know a dad who's in recovery, who's struggling, and you know, and we're all struggling because it's not something we really know how to do. You know, many of us didn't have great role models as dads, and you know, we're expected to know how to be a great dad, but we don't really know how to be a great dad. And you know, a lot of us are taking our advice from their mums, you know, and their mums are great mums, but being a dad is a bit different. So that's the deal. Anyway, so be here now. This is where the action is. This is where the juice is. This is where freedom is. It's in the moment. And sometimes it's really difficult to know that you're not here and that you're caught in a story, in an illusion. But that's my job, I think, is to bust people out. I'm the jailbreaker and the freedom maker. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you.